It finally happened. Smoke finally got buffed.
Okay.
And not just a hitbox adjustment, or a super niche EX cancel that I've still never used. We got an actual buff in the form of Air Vicious Vapors, which comes with new combo routes, an awesome new restand, and several new setups in Mindgames. But are they good changes? Is Smoke top tier now? Or at least not bottom? Did he evolve from being a one-trick invisible spam character? Well, the answer to all of these is a resounding hell no. But is he at least more fun? Well, yeah, I think so. He's definitely got a few more colors in his Crayola box, but a few of them are worn down and kinda chewed on, and he still doesn't have a green one. It's still early, but from what I can tell, though he got a couple new tools, he still has all the same weird problems, and his strengths are mostly the same. What up guys, I'm Brinks, and welcome to the day I never thought would come, going over smoke buffs and brand new moves. Unfortunately, it's kind of a monkey's paw thing, where we got actual buffs and new moves like we wanted, but they were none of the things we asked for, and at the time of recording, they're kinda buggy.
Bye.
And range from trash to good, question mark, but let me just go over everything now. So the biggest thing we got is Air Vicious Vapors. The regular version is a launcher. The EX version is a true restand that we can combo from. And then we also can cancel it. All versions go through projectiles, and both attack versions are unsafe at about -13 to -15 depending on the height, and they can also be upblocked to make you extra die. So starting with the regular version, it's actually probably the best anti-zoning tool that we have now, as you can jump certain projectiles and punish into full combo with it meterlessly. Or even with punish some projectiles instant airing it, which means to perform it as close to the ground as possible. Specifically, something like a scorpion spear from full screen, as well as other cool applications like the following. Regular Vapors and Teleport can punish some of these as well, but not meterlessly like Air Vapors, which is significant. The other solid application of this new combo starter is after forward 4. Normally, if you land a forward 4, usually from an armor break, you have to spend meter on EX Teleport to get a full combo. But now, we get to launch meterlessly thanks to Air Vicious Vapors. And what's even better, it's even easier to hit confirm, as while Teleport only combos after 2 hits, Air Vapors still launches from all 3 hits. And in every situation where you land it as a combo starter, it quite easily combos into forward 1-2 grab, cancel, forward 1 Shadow Blade for solid meterless damage. You can also do this goofy looking hard combo for what I think is the optimal forward 4 meterless route. If you land it raw, the meterless optimal from what I can tell is 3-2, dash into forward 1-2 grab, cancel forward 1 Shadow Blade. And obviously in the corner you can do a bit more meterlessly. Finally, what I found while making this video to be one of the best things we got from this entire patch is using Air Vicious Vapors as a combo ender. The gravity scaling sucks, so you won't be using it to extend combos, but if you end with it, it leads to an extremely plus knockdown right in front of you, one which gives us an actual safe jump, which we don't get from Shadow Blade or Smoke Ball. And if you're unfamiliar with the term, a safe jump is just a situation where you get a free jump normal that can't be anti-aired or up-blocked, and in many cases can break armor. The only way to avoid it is for the opponent to delay wake up, but then you're still in their face able to pressure them. We can easily do this at the end of our mid-screen B&B with forward 4, or anytime you would be ending a combo with jump 112, you can just do jump 1-1 into this instead. Now jump 1-1-2 normally leads to a safe jump, for more damage too, so why would you want to do this instead? Well, to answer that, let me highlight how our usual combo into invis, forward 1-2 into EX Smoke Ball, is technically a safe jump. If you can see where I'm going with this, Air Vicious Vapors is so plus and leaves us close enough that we get an EX Smoke Ball safe jump, which essentially makes the previous invis combo obsolete, as this does more damage by a pretty good amount. And given that invis is our strongest tool, this is just a straight upgrade to our main way of comboing into it, which is sick. Just beware that, as usual, wake up armor can beat a lot of the smoke ball setups, but it depends on the character, and if you read the armor, you can still just safely block it. The knockdown also gives enough time to set up something like a Janet Puppet, Sonya Rings, or even a low hat for an immediate 50-50. Return of Lao cameo maybe? In any case, as soon as you see Smoke do this little twist, input your chosen setup move and take a bite of your crayon of choice. And a side note, from what I can tell, you get slightly more frame advantage on this when doing it from jump 1-1, but forward 4 does slightly more damage, but it's a difference of like 6 damage and 1 to 3 frames, so use whichever one you prefer. Though it's kinda dope that forward 4 has more of a use in combos now thanks to this one move. And finally, Air Vapors gives us consistent jump kick combos, and lets us get a little more from a 2-bar down 2 punish than before as well. So yeah, thanks to higher damage invis loops, meterless armor break combos, and a better way to punish certain zoning moves, I think this is the best part of the patch for us, and is a good move. It only gets worse from here though. So, with the EX version of Air Vapors, we get a whole ass restand that we can continue comboing from. It's pretty solid just for the fact we can get more 1-bar damage out of forward 4 armor breaks than before, especially since it still combos after all 3 hits, unlike EX Teleport. Though you get better damage if you just cancel into restand after 2 hits, since you'll have more gravity to work with and can just do your usual B&B for pretty great damage. Otherwise, you can also end your normal B&B in the restand, which, to be honest, isn't really that great solo, as it leads to about the same or slightly worse 1-bar damage as we were getting before, and does less with 2 bars. But where this move shines is with cameos. Not only can you get extended combos after the restand with a lot of Smoke's main cameos, but in many cases, you can combo into grounded invis, which you can normally only do with a short combo that doesn't launch. This is obviously strong because there are no wake-up options to worry about, so your opponent has to immediately deal with whatever you do. Especially since you'll be ending all of these routes with forward 1-2, which leaves you plus 24 against a standing opponent while invisible. So, Sub and Frost can obviously freeze into this, but you can also do it with Sector Rocket. Kano Knives, Chameleon Glaive, Striker Grenades, and Cyrax Horizontal Chopper, though this one feels inconsistent and is the most expensive. As far as extending from the restand, unless you're in the corner, you have to dash to connect anything. So given that, when extending into cameos, forward 1-2 is the easiest to connect but least damaging. Forward 3-2 is harder and does more damage. And 2-1-2 does the most damage but is the hardest to connect. If not using cameos, when in the corner, the most damage ender is forward 1-2-2-4 into Shadow Blade, which whiffs mid-screen. Otherwise, 2-1-2 Smoke Ball if you don't mind the side switch. Forward 3-2 cancel into either of the previous options if you haven't used the Vapor cancel yet. Or forward 1-2 grab Shadow Blade if you want to keep same side for a little less damage and an easier link. And just to be thorough, while you can still throw in an EX teleport after the restand with forward 1-2 grab, it'll do less damage than if you just spent 2 bars on EX teleport, though it's an option in case you just built the bar during the combo and need to squeeze out extra damage after the restand, especially if you're using cameos here. I think probably the best thing is to spend just 1 cameo to combo into invis from the restand, and save the other cameo for extra invis pressure. Or if you don't have the bar for invis, or just want to cash out, the second cameo extension doesn't give that much more damage. So just doing 1 extension and ending with forward 1-2 for plus 24, and then using the remaining cameo for extra coverage or utility while you pressure might be best. But there's a few options and it'll kind of depend on what you're going for. Overall, the restand is cool, but it's fairly expensive to combine with invis for 2 bars plus cameo, but I think its usefulness will heavily depend on your cameo and how you want to play. But for what it's worth, as a damage cash out option, it's a lot more interesting than just triple jump 1-1 teleports, and we can now combo into Fatal Blow in really long resource dump combos. So, before we talk about the Air Vicious Vapors cancel, I want to mention one of the other buffs Smoke got, which is that back 2 can now be cancelled into air moves before it connects, which is only Air Vicious Vapors and Air Teleport and both cancels. This sounds pretty neat at first, but it's kinda gimmicky. Get used to that word, by the way. Let me explain. So this sounds like it would be good to bait an uplock with back 2 and then punish with your low teleport while they're stuck in the uplock animation. But our teleport is so glacially slow that the opponent can throw out uplock on reaction to back 2 startup and then still have enough time to block the teleport and kill us. Same goes for a telecancel, unfortunately. The uplock is not committal enough for us to throw punish them, and in some cases, if they uplock quick enough, they'll have enough time even to punish the telecancel. Now to go back to the air cancel for Vicious Vapors, this is obviously another option we have from back 2, and on the surface seems like a pretty strong option, and better than a telecancel, as we can cancel into throw or forward 3 to punish uplocks with this, right? Well, no. By the time we can grab, they can duck our throw or block forward 3, which kinda sucks, so no uplock punish here either. The benefit is they can't mash on forward 3 after the failed uplock, so it's kind of a mind game. If they start upblocking back 2, you can cancel and continue pressuring them with this bootleg-ass strike throw setup. Unfortunately, if they don't upblock and expect the cancel, they can just swing when they see the smoke cloud and punish us. But it's not the end of the world, as we can then just let the attack go, and by the time they let go of block to swing on the smoke cloud, they will get launched by air vapors. This is pretty neat, but it's kind of got a few problems. First, if they weren't already blocking for back 2, they can just swing before the attack comes out when the smoke appears, So they can hard read that we're going to go for it when they see back 2 startup and punish us and don't have to deal with guessing between cancel or the attack. But obviously this opens them up to a regular old back 2. Although keep in mind, they can skip the whole guessing game and just stand 1 when they see back 2 startup, since stand 1 will beat back 2 and both options from Air Vapors, which is not great. This is all pretty gimmicky, but you can somewhat add several options to their mental stack to try and make them guess wrong. At the very least, it's more than we had before, but as usual with this character, it's all pretty fake. The other problem with this back 2 cancel is that if you are close enough to the opponent and they remain crouching for whatever reason, you will leapfrog over them and just sail off into the sunset. Or whiff your attack like an asshole and die. Luckily, in the corner, you die in both cases and immediately corner yourself in the process. This fun situation also happens if you try and cancel an up-close forward 4 into Air Vapors against a crouching opponent. So, for people that duck forward 4 on reaction, we still can't do Air Vapors to punish them. It's really awesome, and I'm really glad NetherRealm gave us this tool and let it work this way. If you have Twitter, I would love for you to help me tell them how much fun we all are having with this new move. Until this gets fixed, assuming it does, this drastically ruins the usability of this move, as it's far too inconsistent to risk going for off a forward 4 in most cases. The back 2 mind games are decent, I guess, at least for a gimmick, since at least most people are gonna stand up for back 2 when they see it, and this won't happen as much. But from forward 4, where the correct counterplay is to duck, expect this to happen a lot. The best thing the cancel gives us otherwise is it makes a blocked forward 4 plus 12 on block instead of plus 8, and it's only plus 2 on flawless block. So if you've got an opponent that is not ducking forward 4, well, first off, congratulations on your rare discovery, but you can set up a bit of a strike throw situation with forward 1 after, as they can't duck forward 1 during those 12 frames. To continue with the theme though of this struggle as character, this is fairly gimmicky as we can't throw them during this 12 frame window, so they can just block long enough to cover the forward 1 and then micro duck if you try to delay your grab. And at that point, forward 3 should catch them, so there is sort of a mind game there, but it's a turbo gimmick, but it is something, I guess. And finally, we do get a new combo route from this air cancel. First 2 hits of forward 4 combo into stand 1 after a cancel. The air cancel seems to count the same as the ground cancel, but depending on your cameo, you can do really game-changing stuff like this. Feel free to comment below how amazed you are at this crazy new route I have just revealed to you. You're welcome. Alright, so to summarize, I think the best things that we got from this patch all come from the attack versions of Air Vicious Vapors. Specifically, being able to meterlessly convert an armor break into full combo, as well as having higher damage invis routes than we had before, along with the restand synergizing well with a lot of cameos to, at the very least, give us a lot of really fun combo routes. And the burst option and anti-zoning potential of Air Vapors is actually pretty useful. Most of the cancel stuff is hugely gimmicky and inconsistent, let alone buggy with the leapfrog nonsense, but even if they fix it, it wouldn't be super game-changing for us. Just a few new mind game options that are decent at best. Despite what they said in the Kombat cast, this is still the same character from what I can tell so far. Our strengths and weaknesses are mostly unchanged. We still have to spam invis however we can, all our pressure is fake, and we still get mashed on, even with the new options, as fun as they are when they actually work, and our neutral is roughly the same, which is to say, not good. The only difference is Air Vapors unlocks a ranged punish option that we didn't have before. So as for these buffs, it's essentially as if we've been granted a few more skill points, but not enough to unlock any meaningful new abilities. So in my opinion, Smoke is still firmly in bottom tier. Invis is toxic, but that's literally all we have, and it costs resources and is not without counterplay. So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. You are awesome. And if you want to show support, please like the video and subscribe if you enjoy detailed guides, as I'm working on the most detailed Noob Saibot guide ever. And I have several guides planned for the near future and other fun videos in between. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling about the buffs, and if you found anything that I missed or disagreed with any of my analysis. Otherwise, that's it for now. Still buff Smoke, also fix Smoke. Later.